Today we're talking about how to recognize 4 quiet habits that keep estranged moms trapped in the pain of estrangement and actually make it worse. Maybe you found yourself pulling away from friends or family because it feels easier than explaining what you're going through. Or maybe you catch yourself constantly checking your phone, hoping for a message from your child that rarely comes. If you've ever felt like you're supposed to carry the burden of estrangement alone, that, my friend, is a lie, and this episode is for you. When your relationship with your child is strained or broken, it's natural to look for ways to cope. But sometimes the habits that we fall into while trying to survive the pain are the same habits that keep us stuck in it. Today, I'll share how you can take the first step toward reclaiming your peace and taking your life back. So find a quiet place to listen, make your Irish cream mocha, and let's dive in. Hi friends, welcome to The Awakened Christian Woman. Are you struggling with broken relationships and losses that have shaken your faith and left you wondering where God is? If you long for peace, a deeper prayer life, and faith that holds steady, you're in the right place. I'm Sarah, a wife, mom of adult kids, and your Jesus-loving friend. Here you'll find faith-filled encouragement and practical tools to help you trust God, pray with confidence, and walk closely with Him. So turn off your alarm clock, pour a strong latte, and let the sun shine in your life. Hey friend, do you want to join a community of Christian women who are praying for their prodigal or estranged children, just like you are? Inside my Facebook group, Praying Moms of Estranged and Prodigal Adult Children, you'll get prayer tools and scripture-based encouragement to help you trust God with your adult children. Join now at https://bit.ly/prayingmom. Click the follow button to follow the Awakened Christian Woman podcast so you're notified when the next episode comes out. I can't believe it's March already, friends. My birthday is coming up, which makes me think of all the birthdays I've had when either one or both of my children were not present to celebrate with me. Last year, they were both here, and my heart was so happy because it was such a miracle. I couldn't remember the last time that had happened. Now, to be fair, they weren't always absent because of being estranged, but when they were absent for that reason, it was especially hard. And for many of the years when they weren't present, I kept silent. I didn't tell any family members or friends that I was celebrating alone or with just my husband. So I totally understand the desire to not share your feelings, especially about something as sensitive as estrangement, because I am not a person who bears my soul with everybody I meet. In fact, I'm pretty reserved if I don't know how other people are going to respond. Even doing this podcast is a challenge for me sometimes because I'm putting parts of my personal life out there for everyone to hear, which can feel pretty scary at times. If you'd asked me a year ago whether I'd be talking today about estrangement on podcast platforms that are streamed worldwide, I would say, no way, I can't see myself doing that. But I'm doing exactly that right now because God has called me to set aside my own desire for comfort, to step out of that comfort zone, to help other moms who have prodigal or estranged children or both. And I'm just trusting that God can draw the listeners who need this information and that it will make a difference for them. If you're walking through estrangement right now, some of the habits that feel natural in the season can actually hold us back from experiencing God's peace, and that's what I want to share with you today. Estrangement is one of the hardest things that a parent can experience, and one of the most common habits that keeps people stuck in the pain of estrangement is isolation. It's hard to talk about estrangement because the experience is so tender. Many moms internalize that pain and feel ashamed. They wonder if they did something to cause the estrangement, or they feel like they're the only one going through it, so they just don't talk about it. This is sometimes true for moms of prodigal children as well. If their children are not walking with the Lord, these moms often won't mention that with their friends because they're ashamed. Let me tell you that you are not alone if you feel this way. Estrangement is sometimes called a silent epidemic because so many people are going through it, but very few actually talk about it openly. When we carry that pain alone, and when we isolate ourselves because of the shame, the fear of what other people might think, it keeps us stuck in that pain. So finding support is really important when you're going through something like estrangement because it is emotionally heavy. I know from experience how difficult this can be. When I knew that I needed connection, sharing what I was going through didn't always feel safe or comfortable because some friends, however well-meaning they were, just didn't understand what the experience of estrangement was like. And then there are some people who want to rush you into solutions or quick healing or answers. That's not helpful, honestly, because healing takes time. What you need is space to tell someone what happened, someone who will hear your story without judging you, someone who will really listen and seek to understand and believe you and feel with you, not someone who's going to give you a bunch of advice that is well-meaning but not really helpful at the time. When you're able to talk about what you've gone through and what you're feeling and why you're feeling that way, then you're able to move out of the fight and flight mode and begin to process the pain. See, your pain needs to be acknowledged before you can heal. And the truth is, healing rarely happens in isolation. I want you to think about this for a moment. Even if you don't have a notebook or pen handy, just take a mental note of this. Do you have someone in your life who can listen really well? Someone who won't judge you as they're listening? Maybe a trusted friend? How about a counselor? Maybe a support group? You can also find support in my Facebook community or in a support group like Hurting Moms, and I'll put links to both of those in the show notes today. If you're not sure who that person should be or who you should connect with, pray and ask the Lord to lead you to the right person or the right people to talk with about your estrangement experience. When you step out of being isolated, the power of pain will begin to lose its grip on you, and that's what you need. Putting your life on hold to wait for news from your adult child is another habit that keeps you stuck in worry. When we live in a constant state of alert, it becomes almost impossible to experience the peace that God offers us in the middle of our circumstances. Here are just a few ways that I thought of to recognize whether this habit is in action in your life. You don't silence your text notifications at night just in case your child messages you, which, to be honest, rarely ever happens, right? What does happen? Every time a spam message comes in, your phone dings. So there you are at 2 a.m., jolted out of your sleep by this little ding. And then you have to climb out of bed to check your phone just in case it was your child who messaged you. Another sign that this habit is at work in your life is that you treat every text message you receive from your child as an urgent priority. You worry about emergencies that could be happening with your child. You might even keep your calendar clear on holidays or special days, just in case your child shows up. Meanwhile, your friends are making plans and you feel like you're missing out. Your entire life feels like it's on hold. How many things are you putting on hold while you wait for news from your adult child? Of course, it's wonderful to hear from our adult children. We all want that. But waiting for a call or text shouldn't consume so much of our attention or our energy. In fact, when you think about it, you might not even need to wait at all. If you still have a way to contact your child, you could simply send a message like, "Hi, I'm thinking of you. Hope you're having a good day," and then go on with your day. If your child rarely calls or doesn't want to be in contact with you, it's understandable to stay on high alert just in case. But living in that constant state of waiting keeps your life on hold. Your child is so important, but your life cannot revolve around the possibility that they might reach out today. Make plans, see your friends, go out and live your life. And if your child does call or text, you can always adjust your plans. But when you never make plans at all, disappointment can easily become like a daily companion, which isn't healthy. I've also found it helpful to remind myself that my child is an adult now. He's truly capable of handling most situations that arise, and if something really urgent were happening, he would find a way to reach me. And the same is true for you. It's time to start taking your life back. You don't have to live on constant alert. Pray for God to give you peace, and pray for your child to have peace and wisdom when they do face difficult situations. You might also want to create some time boundaries. For example, if your child is in a truly dangerous situation and it would be important not to miss a call or a text in the middle of the night, you could choose to leave your ringer on. Be realistic. In most cases, that isn't necessary and it just disrupts your sleep. If you do receive a text from your child, give yourself time to reply, especially if your relationship with them is fragile right now. Think about what you want to say, when you want to say it, and how you want to say it. Have you ever answered a text message in haste and then wished you hadn't? This has caused so many problems for me that were entirely avoidable if I had just slowed down and not replied so quickly. Just because we live in this instant gratification society does not mean that we have to respond instantly to text messages. So just remember that and ask the Lord to help you know what to say or how to say it if you do hear from your child, and trust that He's going to give you the right words. We're on a roll here, so let's keep going. Checking your child's social media pages often is a habit that I think can keep you stuck in pain and distracted from living your life. It's completely normal to be curious about how your child is doing. As moms, we're naturally curious. We want to know that they're doing well. But I have to be honest here because I hear of so many estranged moms doing this, and that is they're checking their child's Instagram page hourly or daily, and that is not healthy. When you're checking your child's social media activity constantly, every day or even every couple of days, that can become a compulsive behavior, and it distracts you from living your own life. So how do you break free? You have to catch yourself doing it and keep yourself from doing it. If that means deleting the app from your phone so that it's harder for you to log into social media, then do it. Or try limiting yourself to only looking at your child's social media page maybe once a month. Remember, you're doing these things to protect your peace. And more information doesn't actually give us peace. Peace comes from trusting that God sees what we cannot and trusting that He has everything in His control. The fourth habit that can actually create more pain during estrangement is asking other people for information about your estranged child. This is such a huge temptation when you're estranged because as moms of estranged children, we struggle so much with having reduced or minimal contact with our children. And while that struggle is entirely understandable, the ways we try to solve it are not always healthy. When you find yourself asking family members what your child has said recently or what they're doing, it can seem like harmless curiosity. The truth is, though, that reaching out to other family members for information often backfires because over time, it can put those family members into a difficult position. They may want to help you, but they also don't want to betray your child's trust. And they likely know that their relationship with your child would be damaged if the child found out that information was being relayed back to you. They probably care deeply about both of you and they feel caught in the middle. And that can actually quietly strain your relationship with them. Asking family members questions about how your child is doing also takes you down a really long trail of painful questions as you wonder why you have to go to such great lengths. That causes resentment and thoughts start plaguing your mind like, why won't my family member tell me whatever I want to know? Why can't I just talk to my child directly? Why do I have to even try to go through this family member? These are natural questions that every mom would want the answers to, but involving family members creates this weird situation of triangulation, which rarely helps the situation. Instead, it may help to shift your perspective. Something to remember here is that it's not uncommon for an estranged child to cut off everyone in the entire family. So the fact that your child is still communicating with someone in your family is probably a really good thing. If you can view it that way, it really helps a lot. Your family member might end up being a bridge for your child to come back to you. So the best thing you can do is tell your family member that you love your child, that you miss her, and that you hope everything is going well with her, and just leave it at that. Don't ask for additional information. As we come to a close today, what I want you to really walk away with is the realization that this is your moment to begin taking back your life. And the habits we've been discussing might be standing in your way of doing that. The moment you recognize the habits that are keeping you stuck is the moment that they begin to lose their power. You don't have to stay trapped in shame. You don't have to stay trapped in isolation. You can heal. You can grow. God specializes in restoring strength to weary hearts. I know it's really hard when you're in the thick, hard season of estrangement to believe this, but remember Isaiah 40:29. It says, "He gives power to the faint, and to him who has no might, he increases strength." You can begin walking in strength again, even while the story with your child is still unfolding, because your life is not over. God wants to restore your strength, your hope, and your peace. So if this episode encouraged you today, I hope you'll carry these truths with you this week as you continue trusting God with your child and with your own healing. Hey, I hope today's episode inspired you. If so, would you click the follow button for the show and share it with someone who wants to learn more about trusting God? Also, please take 30 seconds to leave me a quick review of the show on Apple Podcasts. It means so much to me to know this podcast is encouraging you. Set your alarm to wake up to Jesus and your mocha, and meet me here every Tuesday for a new episode. See you soon.